Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into the Performance Lab. Don't forget to subscribe below to the right for updates to new videos.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Maury Croson here from the Performance Lab in California, and we have a breakdown for you today. And really, the big topic of the breakdown is just going to be how posture is impacting performance and what you can do from a posture perspective to really make some big improvements in your overall running mechanics. And this is the side on the right is more of a before type of a situation, and then after is here on the left. You could see really there's a lot of different things that we worked on here. It took about 30 45 minutes altogether, but one of the big things that we could see is the difference within the posture. So when we go and we start breaking it down, the big thing that ends up impacting your ability to run fast is, where is the head in relationship to the hip. So if your head is too far out in front of your hips, now that's going to put a certain amount of bend within the spine in comparison to when your head is pretty much right above the hips, slightly in front of the hips. Now it's going to put a significantly different position of the spine. And what I've found in my overall running and also with working with athletes is the more speed that you want to put onto your body, the more your spine wants to go like this. So you have to be able to, in a way, fight your body to be able to maintain a more upright position, especially as your overall speed begins to increase more and more. And what ends up happening too, in correlation to what in my opinion started the issue here on the right, is putting too much of a focus on knee drive. Right, there's a lot of times that when I hear coaches that want to try to help athletes run faster, it's always about driving the knees. And one of the big mistakes that ends up happening from that is now the concentration gets away from the push off, right? How well you're able to actually push off the back leg, right? Look at the position, the push off here in comparison to the push off here, where there's so much bend here in the knee. Now, if the focus is on the knee drive, now of course there's not going to be as nice of a push off like we see on the left side, because the focus is on getting the knee forward as fast as you can, right? But the thing is that when we talk about speed and the development of speed, it's how well you're able to push off the back leg that allows you to get to the knee drive. Okay, so there's a common mistake that ends up happening there, and one of the big things that happens when you start to put too much of a focus on knee drive as well is now the spine angle overall changes. When you can keep the focus being a little bit more on your ability to push off, now it's more natural to keep your head slightly in front of your hips instead of when your concentration a little bit more on the knee drive. Now you're going to have a tendency to have your head a little bit more out front, a little bit more in front of your hips. So really putting a big understanding of the importance of the posture, because I think the posture really ends up holding us back, especially the longer distance runners as well as the sprinters, is that I feel myself once I get into mile, maybe one and a half. I'm not really a long distance person, but once I get closer and closer to the end of a mile, I feel my body begin to want to collapse a little bit and have some difficulty in maintaining a very upright spine position. Because of that, it ends up impacting how much stride distance I'm able to get on each one of my steps, and also how well how effectively I'm pushing off that back leg, which are both going to impact my overall performance. So really getting understanding of how posture and that feeling in your spine to kind of allow yourself to dip down a little bit is really really impacting your ability to run as fast as you possibly can, and in your overall performance. So just want to give you guys some information from the posture perspective. I know I've talked a lot about the leg cycle, a lot about how that should be better, your push off, the feet, things like that. But late recently, and working with this athlete, really gave me a better understanding from a posture perspective where there could be significant improvements in athletes running capabilities. And what ends up being a common mistake with a lot of athletes that we've been doing breakdowns on and stuff like this. But this is a great example of somebody that is able to get a lot of big improvements fairly quickly by just fixing the posture and how they're able to push off that back leg, and what the result ends up being. So yeah, to get something like this, we obviously do the breakdowns where it's very effective. But if you also, or if you live within the area and would like to get some mechanic improvement, whether you're a marathon runner or do the sprinting type of running, doing something like this would be, very, very valuable for you coming in and actually, getting a technique analysis like this, just because we're able to make corrections a little bit quicker and, go over different drills, different exercises, whatever ends up helping you. which will obviously be very beneficial. So if you guys have any information or any questions or anything like that, want to know more information, there's descriptions in the link below, or links in the description below, and you should be able to find out more about whether you want to come to the lab or some of our online options as well. So as always, guys, thanks for watching the videos, and we'll talk soon.
Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you really enjoyed it, and if you did, you can subscribe down below, and that way you can get updates on any of the new videos that we get. Also, if you want to, you can check out some of our other breakdowns for speed and throwing. We have exercises, also jumping mechanics videos, a lot of great stuff within our channel. Hope you enjoy.